he's back. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rico, aka RockStarrFX, here back with another video. And this one we are officially bringing back the live trade sessions, which I know has been an absolute hit. On this channel, you guys have been loving it. I've actually really enjoyed doing them, but we have to take a small break, and there's a good reason for that. So if you guys have been following me on Instagram, or even if you've been tapped into some of my recent YouTube lives here on the channel, then you know that I recently made a switch in platforms in which I trade on. And the switch was a pretty significantly big change. So in recent news, if you guys are brand new to my channel, then you know that about 6 months ago, I've actually decided to partner up with a platform, one of the largest trading educational platforms in the world, and teach on that platform. And in doing so, because this is one of the largest platforms, they have a name that they have to uphold, and they have to make sure that everything is good and that all of their traders are actually legit. And one of the main ways of doing that is having a requirement that if we are to trade and teach on the platform, we have to be using a regulated broker. Now, you guys know that in the binary options world, there are not many regulated platforms to be able to safely trade on, especially not in the United States. In fact, there is only one platform in the United States that you can really safely trade on, and that is Nadex. So from here on out, all of my videos here on YouTube, if I'm uploading any kind of live trade sessions, it's only going to be in pertains or showing the Nadex platform. Now, I do want to make it very clear before we actually jump into this video, I am not hired, associated, or affiliated with Nadex in any way, shape, or form. I do not get paid or promotions for doing these videos at all by the platform, but I do understand that Nadex isn't really the easiest platform to use, and there are a lot of viewers here on this YouTube channel that are in the United States and wondering for yourself, how can you start trading on the platform, or just trading regulated, taking the safest route possible when it comes to trading binary options, so that you don't have to worry about withdrawal issues in the future, or any kind of of the other dangers, right, or the other factors that comes with trading an offshore, overseas, unregulated platform. So this video and every other video on my channel is solely for educational purposes only. Please don't get it twisted. So getting into this session, guys, as you guys can see, so this was around the very beginning of when I first started trading on the platform, on the Nadex platform. And it's so crazy because as you guys know, if you guys have ever traded like the offshore, the other types of platforms in which, we have access to in the binary options world, versus Nadex, it's very, very much different. In fact, when I first started on Nadex, I knew absolutely nothing about stock options, and I still know nothing about stock options to keep it honest with you guys. But what I did notice is that because it's binary options and stock options, I had like this light bulb in my head that kind of just clicked, right? And I knew like certain terms like in the money trades and stuff like that came from the stock options world. Like I've heard it in stock options before. So I kind of did my research and I said, you know what? I cannot figure out this Nadex thing. And it didn't make sense to me because I knew that I was an absolute savage when it came to time-based trading. When it came to trading binary options, you guys know, you've been on my channel for a while. Like I didn't have an issue with it for a long time. Like I've been doing this for 3 years now, binary options, never had any issues. Come to Nadex and I'm taking the same exact trades and the same exact markets, and they're just not clearing, and I could not figure it out. Now, if you guys know anything about the markets, obviously we talk about it, and I mentioned it a few times on this channel as well. The higher you go up in the time frames, right? So the higher time frame you do your analysis on, the more accurate the trade is likely to be, because you have a little bit more market data to work on, and then on top of that, you give the markets more time to actually kind of make its move when you're doing a longer term trade. So when I first got to the Nadex platform, I tried to do the short term trading. It just did not work for me. I couldn't figure it out. Then what I did was, and this is what's happening in this video, I started to kind of just increase my expirations a little bit until I can really get used to the platform and understand how it works. So in this video, you're gonna see me taking like 1 hour positions, 2 hour positions, like really far out. Now, you guys know usually I'm only in trades for about 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes like 10 to 15 at most. But to take a 1 hour to 2 hour trade for me was complete, like, how do you call it, like culture shock, right? If that's even that's even the way to put it, right? It was like culture shock, man. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting here on the charts, I gotta wait for these trades to like expire. You guys can see, like, I marked this up, and we're not even moving. Like, I probably just marked this up and left it here, right? Because I'm waiting for the confirmations on the 15-minute. But it was just so much different for me, and it was something that, even though when you're doing longer term trades on Nadex, you can make a lot more money with it. So if you guys are familiar with the 3 types of like orders that you can place, which is like in the money orders, out of the money orders, at the money orders, stuff like that, and we'll do videos on that like in the future as well, so you guys can understand that terminology a little bit more. But if you're familiar with those, then you know that like typically the out of the money orders would always make you the most amount of money because the contracts are the cheapest and they give you the highest reward because you're placing a trade that is like so far like out of the money, like you're not in profit. So it's almost like you start a trade off already in the negative. And because you're placing the trade here while the market is here, right? So you're placing a buy here while the market is here. What happens is nobody else wants to buy that. The contracts are going to be very cheap, but you get a very high reward on that. So naturally, that's very appealing to a lot of people when they come to the Nadex platform. And in the beginning, that's what I focused on because I already knew it was going to take a little while for me to get used to Nadex and the way that Nadex traded. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take my time. I'll do longer term positions, still try to make my money, do what it is that I do in the markets, which is just slap it up, right? But as you guys can see here, if you're already familiar with like my 3-step setup, the way that I trade, support, resistance, and everything like that, in terms of what it is that I look for in the market, you guys will probably notice my charts have not changed. Same exact indicators are on the screen. Nothing's really changed. I'm looking for the same thing. It's just that I'm going in for a longer period of time. Now you guys can see right here, that blue line or whatever it is, it's like a greenish blue that I have up there, that's actually my entry. So I already placed this trade. This is an out of the money position and I'm placing that trade at the strike price that's all the way up there. And as you guys can see, the markets right now are very much below that strike price. So this was an out of the money position. Now the reason why I was so confident in the markets actually making this move and pushing it up was because not only did I get all of my confirmations, but I'm pretty sure this is like a 3-hour, this is like a 3 or 4 hour position. We'll probably see when I pull the Nadex chart up. To be honest, I completely forgot I was even recording, so I don't have both charts up right now. But I'm going to pull up the Nadex chart in just a little bit. You guys are going to see I'll still have like 3 hours left on this expiration. But what I was doing was in the beginning, I was taking my same strategy. And this also goes very good with back testing as well. We talk about it a lot, both within my students, in the academy, as well as I made a few videos on this channel talking about being able to back test your strategy and test out certain things to see if it works and how it works. And what I was doing here was I was testing my strategy, same exact confirmations, same exact markups, no changes whatsoever. But what I was doing was I was placing 2 trades at a time. One that was further out of the money with a longer expiration, and one that was a little bit closer when I got the correct confirmations that I was looking for with more of an at the money kind of position. And you guys are going to see I'm going to put a second line up on the screen as well, and that's going to be my 2 positions that I'm actually going to be in. Okay, so here we go. The second plate was actually placed right here. You guys are going to see the second position. I'm going to go ahead and put the line there as well so that I can get more of a visual on where it's at with the actual charts and not just Nadex. And as you guys can see, so the markets are currently pretty much at that exact line. So that would be considered an at the money position, which is almost like a 50-50 kind of win-loss ratio. So it's like, if you guys do like risk reward, it's like the closest thing to a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Okay, so you can do like a $55 trade to win, $45 or 50-50, $50 risk, $50 reward. So I placed that at the money position. This is only an hour long, whereas on the top one, I did an out of the money position, which is going to be about 3 hours long. Okay. Now, again, I am not the biggest fan of the long-term trades in general when it comes to trading binary options. But when I first started trading Nadex a few months back, that is exactly what I was doing because I wanted to get more familiar with the platform, get more familiar with its features, and then from that point, worry about actually making the money. So now we got the Nadex chart up here. You guys can actually see Nadex now, which is awesome. So let me break this down for you a little bit. So both positions are on GBP USD, as you guys can see. One of them we have about 50 minutes left, so a little bit less than an hour left on that trade. The other one we have almost 3 hours left on the trade. So again, just breaking it down, if we're looking at my trading view chart on to the left, the top one is the out of the money position, which is 3 hours left on that trade. The one that's more closer to the market, when you see on my Nadex chart right now, that's the at the money position that I'm hoping is going to be above expiration within the next hour. Now, the cool thing about Nadex that a lot of people don't yet understand is that you can actually close your trades early. Whether you're in profit or whether you're losing the trade, you can still close early and have the potential to either minimize risk or to walk away with some money, even if you are currently losing that trade. So right now, if we're looking at that position, it's slowly moving up right now, but the position is technically losing. And as you guys can see, my P&L, it's actually green right now, which means that if I were to sell this contract, right, they're looking to give me money. There's someone that's looking to buy this position opposite of what it is that I'm doing, and pretty much get in at the price that it's currently at. So you can actually be in the negative and still close the trade profit if the probability of you clearing is high, or you can actually be positive and your P&L will still be negative, if that makes sense, right? So you can have a trade that's above where you got in, all right, for a buy, and your P&L can still be red. What I want you guys to understand is the P&L is actually not what it is that the trade is like what you're gonna make if the trade closes, right? What the P&L is, this red on my screen right here, this is actually, if I were to close the trade right now, if I were to close it early, this would be my profit loss. So I would be negative, what is that, like $3 right now if I were to close the trade right now. Now, this is actually really cool, and a lot of people sleep on this feature. Odds are that there's probably, if I were to lose this trade, I'm probably going to end up losing. This is at the money, so probably anywhere from about $30 to $60. I'm not sure exactly what the prices was because I don't have it on the screen right now. But I would say maybe like $40 to $60. If I were to lose this trade and it expired as a loss, I would lose like $40 to $60, right? Depending on what that price was. Like I said, I can't see it on the screen now, so I'm just making a guess. But if I were to close it early, I want you guys to see this. If I were to close the trades early, then I would actually be closing it with the loss of what it is that it's being shown on the screen right now. So you can actually minimize your losses. Let's just say if you take a trade and you're losing that trade, or let's say you take a trade, and I know this has happened to all of us at some point in our trading career. We thought that the markets was going to go in one direction. We ended up taking a trade, and as we took the trade, we realized very quickly that it's reversing and it's going to go the other way. So when you get that instinct of saying, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this trade. Instead of waiting for it to expire and taking that full loss, you can actually get out of the trade early and minimize that loss by obviously, closing the trade early and taking whatever it is that is shown on the screen as your P&L. All right, so that lower position is in profit right now. As you guys can see, looking at our indicators to the left on the actual trading view, we got everything that we usually look for. Stochastic cross is looking good. The DMI is pushing to the upside. Everything is looking fire on this trade setup. So I was pretty confident all in all, especially because I did more of a multiple time frame analysis. I went up a little bit, checked the higher time frames as well. And that's another thing too. I don't usually do that when I'm scalping and doing like shorter term trades. I don't really feel the need to check the higher time frames. In this, as you guys can see in the beginning, I was going all the way up to like the 1 hour. I checked the 30 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour. I was checking multiple time frames to make sure that we can clear both of these trades, both 1 hour away and the one that is, about 3 hours away. Now, that's another thing as well. What I've noticed is that when you're taking, and I'm sure a lot of you here can agree on it, even if you trade like MC4, when you're looking for bigger moves in the markets, a lot of the times it's best to kind of look at the higher time frames and do some analysis, like mark up the support, mark up the resistance, see if you get that market synchronization in terms of getting the trend bounce or overall direction or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that all of those time frames kind of sync up and tell you exactly what it is that you're looking to do. But that's really only something that I do when I'm trading or when I'm looking for bigger moves in the market. And as you guys can see right now, I'm kind of flipping back and forth because we do see a small drop. Again, I changed the chart on the left-hand side. I'm not sure what time frame that is, but I'm sure that's a higher time frame. I changed the chart on the left-hand side, and then I checked both trade positions that I had open. So that's why you see the strike price has changed. I checked the higher one, and I checked the one that I'm currently looking at to make sure that everything is good on this as well. By the way, guys, if you have not done so already, I highly advise all of you here, go to my channel and check out my 3-step setup video, my best indicators for trading binary options for beginners. Check out all of those videos because that is exactly how I trade in terms of the foundation and the setup, what it is that I look for in my trading. Now, obviously, there is always more to learn aside from just indicators. But if you guys trade with me, if you guys know my strategy, if you've been studying my strategy, you know the 3-step setup alone can be very profitable when you're looking for quick in and out entries and scalping the markets, especially if you're trading binary options. So I would definitely advise everybody make sure you learn the 3-step setup. And if you're not already a part of our academy and getting on my live sessions to learn from me on a personal level, you're absolutely slacking and missing out. So make sure you hit up the description and make sure you guys get the correct information about how everything works. Feel free to reach out to me as well. And let's get you plugged in so that we can start making you some potential profits. All right, so fast forwarding a little bit, as you guys can see, we are just about an hour, almost an hour later. There's 5 minutes left on this expiration. And if we're looking over to my TradingView chart on the left, both trades are currently in profit. So we are way above this 1 hour position that we have here, and we just crossed the profit mark for the 3 hour position that we had open as well. So both trades are in profit. Obviously, we're not going to sit here on YouTube and watch the entire 2 hours left for the second position to clear. In fact, it was so far out that I actually ended up leaving. I went to go take a shower. I stepped out for a bit. Long story short, the second trade actually expired while I was out, and I got home and the recording had already stopped and I had no idea. So we actually don't have that on footage, but you guys can see, especially as we get more closer towards the end of this video, both trades cleared, some great profits for the day. This is actually a pretty small account that I was trading on as well. But when I tell you that your boy has become an absolute savage when it comes to trading on Nadex, I'm telling you, I have become an absolute savage when it comes to trading on Nadex. So check this out. Look at this. We're about to expire in about 40 seconds. That's the top position, 1 hour, right? So let's see. You guys see we're deep in profits. This was an at the money position as well. So looking to make some good money on this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, close. All right. So the first position is closed and we just cleared that one. And now we still have 2 hours left on the second position. So what I'm going to be doing is throughout the duration of this week, I'm actually just going to be uploading all of the previous, like when I say the previous, I mean like the very first few trade sessions that I have recorded here from Nadex. I know a lot of you are interested in number one, learning how to trade on the platform, getting a good strategy down for the platform, as well as just seeing more videos on the platform, because there really aren't a lot of good YouTubers that are trading on Nadex, which I think is absolutely crazy, especially because a lot of the people that I see trading binary options are eligible to trade on Nadex on YouTube. So I guess I would be that first guy, man. I'm gonna bring the sauce to YouTube on Nadex, and it's up to you guys what it is that you want to do with that. But make sure go ahead, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like the video, make sure you share this out, hit the favorites on it. If you're not subscribed, come on, subscribe, stop playing yourself, because we're gonna keep running this thing up. We're gonna keep destroying the markets just as we've always been doing. But more importantly, we're gonna continue to educate for free on this platform so that we can help you take your trading to the next level. We're currently over 30 pips in profit on this out of the money position, which means we caught honestly like a 50 plus pip move in about 3 hours trading Nadex. Absolutely insane. Both trades cleared, but make sure you stay tuned for more, because we are not done with the Nadex sauce just yet. Till next time, this is your boy Rico, aka RockStarrFX. I'm out. Peace.
Feel just like a rock star.